The subtle energetics of sunlight, how yogis aligned with the solar current, opening transmission. There is a current in the sky that does not burn. It does not glare, it does not blind. It flows silently through the golden brilliance we call sunlight. The yogis of old did not simply bask in its warmth, they entered it. They aligned their breath, their spine, and their stillness, until the solar current opened them from within. This is not metaphor. It is not mere light therapy or vitamin D. This is the radiant code of solar consciousness, a subtle river of intelligence that carries the memory of awakening, from the sun into the skin and deep into the spine. Today we enter that current again, not through imagination, but through transmission, not through science alone, but through subtle perception, to rediscover how yogis live directly from the golden source, and how you can align your body, breath, and awareness to do the same. 1. The solar secret hidden in plain sight. Most people see sunlight only as physical energy, wavelengths, warmth, photonic bursts from a nuclear star. But in yogic perception, the sun is a living field of awareness. It radiates more than heat. It pulses a rhythm that can enter the spine, regulate the breath, even change the mind's oscillations. To the awakened seers, the sun is not just in the sky. It is mirrored within the body, a golden seed at the navel, a flame between the brows, a radiant orb above the crown. The Upanishadic sages called it the inner sun, not by name but by vision, a center of pure intelligence whose light reveals the self. This subtle solar field moves not in straight lines, but in spirals. It hums silently within the pranic system, and those who are still enough can feel its waves rise up the spine like a tide of nectar. 2. Yogis did not sunbathe. They aligned. Modern sunbathing is external, passive, but the ancient yogis practiced solar alignment. They did not merely lie in the light. They stood still, barefoot on sacred ground, face turned toward the rising sun, palms open not in worship, but reception. They timed their breathing to the solar pulse. They allowed the light to penetrate not only the eyes, but the marma points of the face, the chest, the navel, and even the crown. To them, light was not an object. It was a being, a conscious field that could dissolve impurities, synchronize inner rhythms, and awaken dormant awareness. Even the structure of Surya Namaskar salutation was never meant as mere exercise. It was a ritual to harmonize with the sun's internal rhythm, each motion an antenna, each breath a key. 3. The energetic mechanics of solar absorption. When sunlight hits the skin, there is more occurring than chemical reaction. Subtle receptors throughout the energetic body open like petals. The first gateway is the skin, but beneath it lies a deeper system, the pranic lattice, a web of fine channels that crisscross the entire body. When the body is relaxed and the breath is slow, these channels dilate. When the face is calm and the spine aligned, these channels resonate with the solar frequency. And when the mind is still, the solar current flows through the central spine like golden wind. Yogis called this a sacred opening, not because of what they believed, but because of what they felt. Skin tingling, breath slowing, a radiant expansion behind the sternum, an awareness that no longer localizes in the head. The sun enters the body as a nonverbal teacher. It does not speak, it transmits. 4. The eyes are receivers, not just organs of sight. The yogic eye is not for looking, it is for feeling, absorbing. When yogis gaze at the early morning sun, they are not staring, they are drinking. Their eyes become open portals, and the light doesn't just enter the optic nerve, it enters the mind field. Have you ever noticed that after a moment of calm sun-gazing, thought slows, not as sleep, but as soft presence? This is not coincidence. The eyes hold the energy of fire, but also calmness. When they receive the sun in stillness, they reprogram internal patterns. Not just melatonin or serotonin, but subtle patterns of attention, habit, and inner direction. This is why ancient practitioners performed tradaka or fire gazing at dawn, but only after their body was still and breath calm. Because if the nervous system is tense, the light cannot go deep. 5. How the solar current awakens the subtle spine. The yogic spine is more than vertebrae. It is a pillar of light, a vertical antenna for cosmic and solar reception. In meditative stillness, when aligned with the sun, the central channel begins to awaken. The breath grows so soft it almost stops. A golden pressure builds near the navel or heart, and a ripple of warm light begins to ascend. This is the solar prana. It does not originate from the lungs. It does not move like wind. It rises like honey, slow, warm, intelligent. This golden current activates the medullary centers at the base of the skull. It quiets the limbic brain and opens a perception beyond thought. Many advanced yogis would sit in the solar arc, not to meditate on the sun, but to merge with the sun's rhythm until their own consciousness was lifted from the body, not death, but solar absorption. The same light in the sky becomes the light within. 6. The forgotten practice of midday stillness. Most traditions recommend morning sun for clarity, but few remember the sacred power of midday stillness. When the sun is directly overhead, the body's inner axis aligns perfectly. If one sits quietly during this time without food or distraction, the solar beam doesn't burn, it anchors. Yogis use this time to pause all doing, to let the outer fire of noon ignite the inner flame of silence. Even 5 minutes in such stillness with no movement can reset the entire nervous system, not as rest, but as attunement. Practical ways to align with the solar field today. You don't need to live in a forest or ashram to feel this. The golden current is everywhere. Here's how to begin. Face the rising sun with eyes closed, standing barefoot if possible. Let the light touch your forehead, chest, and belly. Don't look. Listen with your skin. Slow your breath to match the warmth you feel in your body. Let the warmth guide your rhythm. Remain still for a full minute after stepping away from the light. This is when absorption deepens. At midday, pause all devices even for just 3 minutes. Let your spine sit tall. Feel the verticality of light pressing down. This is the real solar download. Before bed, visualize the sun not in the sky, but in your chest. Let its glow dissolve all remaining thought. This is how yogis slept inside the sun. 8. The true yogic sun is not out there. Eventually, the seeker realizes the outer sun is only the doorway. The real light, the eternal radiance, is already within. What the yogis called solar alignment is really self-alignment. To move in harmony with the sun is to move in harmony with truth. To feel the heat, the radiance, the silent generosity of sunlight is to remember what it means to be a source rather than a seeker. In the deepest stillness, there is no sun in the sky, no body on the ground. Only light, soft, infinite, uncaused, mystical reflection. Sunlight is not just for plants, it is for the soul. The sages saw no difference between the rising sun and the rising self, between solar warmth and divine intelligence. The light that falls across your skin each morning is the same light waiting to rise within your spine. All it asks is stillness. All it needs is your silence. Let the sun rise within you. Let your body become the field, and your awareness the flame. If this sacred transmission touched something within you, let the golden current continue. Subscribe to the channel for more sacred insights like this, and become a member if you'd like to support these transmissions directly. Not for content, but for consciousness. Your presence is what makes this radiant field possible, and your stillness is the path. Next transmission preview. In our next sacred offering, we will explore the ability to merge with a mountain or tree, a forgotten city of inner fusion with the earth's stillness, where the boundaries between self and form disappear completely, and awareness rests inside rock, leaf, or bark, not as metaphor, but as direct embodiment.